nevermore. Got a lot going on right now. Enemies at the front gate. We don't even know who's watching the back. Yeah, bust it. Who's gonna be the first to discuss it and to rush it to the public? Main Alzheimer's is hotter than steam is. Touch it. Your budget must have been subject to an unwanted search. Wanted first to enter into the center of a much unwanted earth. Got hunted first. Discussion. Who is the problem? You ain't resolving nothing. The public is struggling and the Russians are rushing. It must have amounted to something. Or must it come down to a button? Pushed by the hand of the man with the bush, scanning the land of the Afghan, looking for the madman. Well, you better ban that book. Masterful magical tactics haven't been the reason that we in the madness, watching the rubble move on CNN troubled news with speeches of double U's. Couple dudes made men budget moves who give a fuck for the public views. Cause the subject of us is not a discussion while the government fumbles clues. Trouble brews up ahead, one left standing, 100 dead. One Afghan in a tub of bread. Coats, gloat, get off with his head, causing the Walmart market dread. Stocks in abundance, watch it shred. Now park in the dark ballpark where the dogs won't bark if a narc don't stop and stare. We don't need no offensive home security. We don't need no captains off the base. We don't need no reason for being alarmed. We don't need no. We don't need no captains off the base. We don't need no. Yo, I was born at the end of Vietnam, watching the TV, thousands of VC fleeing bombs. Then I grew up to Desert Storm, and the LA rise, the weather's warm, and the activists have your leather torn, or furs are disturbed in clever forms. Nevermore, quest to endeavor shores when the pest is a guest of yours. Ever calm, that's how it gets when the shit hits the fan before the storm, and now man the bombs. Hey, call up the Pentagon, cause now the man demands a war. Intercom, take me to DEFCON 5, read this man the rules of war, cause he takes 2 shots and he shoots and scores. We don't need no offensive home security. We don't need no captains off the base. We don't need no reason for being alarmed. We don't need no distant war. We don't need no captains off the base. We don't need no reason for being alarmed. Diplomatic, schizophrenic, systematic, automatic, missile addicts, bomb the planet, issues that are make us make a nation savage. Damn it, at the palace gates, the masses wait and pray for a damn answer and demand of the magistrates to hand them away to escape from the bad hazards. But the man's got a plan to stake with the cash he can make, he can pay for the plan faster. So he hands him a magic plate full of beans and it seems to redeem in the grandmaster. Is it bad to establish hate and negate with the fate of a sadist would have at us, or eliminate peace in the street by decreasing police? Cause it's cheaper to add cameras if an actual national crisis arises and not being calmed by the Mad Hatters. So the Red Cross heads off, let the lead off, or the feds off, talking to their rather. It's a matter of having an antagonist that has an advantage of no nation. And imagine the madness of not having an address where the president goes chasing to the mountains of off continent, shouting at all y'all when it fall to obliteration. Keep harming the streets arming and we bomb until each wall fall is an indication of the many madmen that you'll end up facing. For revenge in the end is a vindication. Then again, what you're left next with is a message of a death wish for intimidation.
Hijacked today. That picture there was one of the buildings associated with the World Trade Center.
Most tragic thing to happen to America by far.
Dealing with a tragedy of this enormity and the fear it generates is something psychologists say can tear us apart or pull us together.
And as we've seen, they're willing to die for their cause. There is an inescapable comparison to Pearl Harbor, the belief that things will never be the same after today.
The effects of terrorism is coast to coast. Death and destruction on one end, disbelief and caution on the other.
The FBI, federal government, state, governor,
Pearl Harbor,
New York City Police
Pearl
Department,
Harbor,
law enforcement authorities, everything is being done that can be done. And people tonight should say a prayer.
this enormity and the fear
If we determine that the cause of this
psychologists say can tear us apart.
It isn't clear at all at this point what weapons were used. It isn't clear at all at this point what weapons were used.
And people tonight should say a prayer. People that we've lost.
The collapse of those twin towers of the World Trade Center.
You just heard a report that the pilots, the terrorist pilots, may well have been trained in a simulator. Imagine how long that entire process took to put together. This was a very complex action.
The effects of terrorism is coast to coast. Death and destruction on one end, disbelief and caution on the other.
Came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. We will make no distinction